Hey guys, welcome to a quick tutorial on setting up your Lightroom for the very first time. So go ahead and click this button, the LRC down here. If you do not have this button, you might have to look for Adobe either in your Launchpad, which is down on the bottom left over here, the Launchpad. And if by any chance you do not have Adobe Lightroom Classic here, and keyword, we want to make sure that we're using Adobe Classic Lightroom. If you don't have that, go up to the CC at the top and you can install any Adobe application that you wish over here with your student account. So make sure it's a Lightroom Classic is installed. There is another type of Lightroom, and again, we are using Lightroom Classic. So once that's downloaded and installed, go ahead and launch it. You're going to probably get these hello, thanks for choosing Adobe Lightroom Classics. They're going to have a bunch of pop-ups where they're going to introduce you to different options in Lightroom. You can either go through those or feel free to exit out. So once we have our Lightroom Classic open on its first catalog, catalog is like a project file and you can store all your photos here. And it's a great way to organize all of your photographs. So first we're going to click File, New Catalog, because we want to make sure that we know where it's saved. And let's go to the left tab over here, click Pictures. And I want you guys to make a new folder over here and title it your name. So you either click New Folder at the bottom, or if you want to know the keyboard shortcuts, it's Shift-Command-N to create, and type your name. That way we know where it's going to be saved. Click over here. And let's title this catalog 2023 your name, for example, Mr. Sandoval Lightroom catalog. Sounds pretty great. So we shall create that here. And Lightroom should be opening up with a new catalog. So the first thing you want to do once you have a brand new catalog is go to Lightroom, Catalog Settings, and click Metadata. You might be on General, but click Metadata. And turn on Automatically Write Changes to XMP. That means if you ever want to copy your Lightroom catalog and put it to a different computer, then all of your editing will be saved when you copy and transfer to a different computer. Otherwise, every single thing you do right now is only going to be saved on this one computer. Exit out of there. And we have a fresh Lightroom catalog, untouched. Now we have our SD card from the pictures that we took. And in our case, we have to have an adapter in order for your iMacs to accept SD cards, because Apple is trying to rob us blind. So make sure that your SD card is inserted properly, and then you can insert the adapter into your computer. Allow accessory to connect? Yes. We have all of these old photos from students whom I've never met. I'm not going to upload their photos because I don't know them and I didn't take the photos myself. So I'll uncheck all. I took these photos, these last 4 down here. So I will check those because I want those to be imported. And we are going to be copying from our SD card onto our hard drives on our computers. There's also move and add, which are other options to import to Lightroom. Move is totally moving where the file is located to a new location. Adding is if you already have your file in the folder where you want it to be sourced, and then you can add your file from that folder. But from an SD card, we're always going to be doing copy. And on the left is where the source is from where we're copying. Ejecting the SD card after import, and including subfolders. I always have that checked on because there are folders that you may not see at first. On the top right over here is where the location is going to be, where you're going to be importing your SD card. So click Other Destinations. Let's go Pictures, your name, your Lightroom catalog. And over here is where I like to organize all of my photos. You don't have to do it as crazy as me, but do please have some organization method. For example, I'm going to have work, and then go back over here. Maybe I'll make a school folder, for example, or a photo shoots. These folders are entirely up to you, how you want to have them organized. Maybe for you, they'll be a lot simpler than what I have right now. So for example, I'm just going to click photo shoots. You can do school or work, whatever you want to do. And I'm going to create a new folder and title it today's date. 2023, first, the month next, 08, and then the date, 29th is today. So 2023, August 29th. Create. And then the last folder I'm going to click is imports. Import. And that's where I'm going to store all of my files. Choose, and then file handling. Pause over here. Then we can also rename our files over here. Rename files, template, file edit. There's a professional way that photographers name their files, and that's SESA, which are the first two letters of your first name and the first two letters of your last name, and underscore. Then you're going to have the date with year, month, day. I'll change this to underscore. And right now it says file name. I'm going to delete that, and I will be doing import number here. And what's cool is you can help. This helps to customize any of your file names. So click insert, and done. So now I've renamed all of my files and given them those numerical orders, and that's going to be really helpful knowing how to numerically organize your entire files, because dealing with clients and dealing with projects, you need to know exactly where specific files are at some points in time. So to go over all these one last time, on the right, file handling, we can click don't import suspected duplicates. File renaming is how you're going to name all these files during import, and Lightroom does the whole thing for you. Apply during import. Metadata, let's click new metadata preset. And this is going to be how you can basically save your sort of copyright information inside. So we're going to create this preset as your name, for example, Sean Sandoval. After renaming your preset with your name, you can go to IPTC copyright, check that on. We're going to put copyright with your name. Copyright status is copyrighted. Rights usage terms. Let's do all rights reserved. And then copyright info URL. This is where you can leave your website or even your Instagram, for example. So www. Whatever. Just put any website that you have there. There's other information that you can fill out if you want, but this is the bare minimum that I would tell you guys to have for importing your photos. Create that, and you're always going to have this metadata on every time you import new photos. That way your photos are always tagged with that important metadata information. Last bit is keywords. You can add any keywords that you want for photos to help you search for them later on. We'll skip that for now. Destination, again, is where we're taking your SD card files and where are we going to put them onto our hard drive. Keep all those organized. Down here in destination, be sure that you change organize by date into one folder. Click import. So everything's importing now. On the top left, you can see the loading bar. And down here, we can see our photos. There's a few different ways to see the photos. First is we want to know where they are in our files. That will be in the folders area. You can hide collections, hide public services. Folders is how you're going to be able to find any specific dates that you've shot your images. The library is basically just looking through your photos. Develop over here is you actually editing the photographs using the develop module. We can turn these tips off for now. And this on the right side is going to be all of your tools to change your edits for every single photo. And there's a bunch of them open over here. So I want you to go ahead, and once you upload your images, feel free to start color correcting them and seeing like what crazy things each color tool does. And then you can click a different photograph on your strip down here to start working on a different photograph. You can also rate your images. You can either use the letter P on your keyboard to put this little flag, or U is to remove the flag. I don't know why it's P and U. You can also use the brackets on your keyboard, which are to the right of the letter P, to add stars. So that way, this one has got 5 stars. And if we go to our filters, we can click rated, and only everything with a 1 star and above is going to appear. And these are the ways you can see your different filters. When you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pictures, it's a really convenient tool to use to help sort and help find them. To the left over here are presets that Lightroom has already created. For example, we can click any of these presets, and it changes the look of the photographs and does the editing for us. However, I don't want us to be working with presets for now, so we'll hide that. History shows us the history of what we've done to each of our photos. But for the most part, we can hide everything on the left, and I just want you guys to focus on using what's on the right side to edit your first photographs. And the last thing that you might need to know is how to export your photos. So once you are finished editing something and you're like, wow, this is the greatest thing in the world, and maybe you want to crop it also, click these tools over here to crop it. Let's do a 1 by 1 in this situation. Click return or enter when you're happy with your crop. Make sure your photo is selected, click library. You're going to do file, export, or you can do export down here. And let's say you want to do more than one photo, so you can select multiple photos by holding the command and selecting the photos that you want. Click export, and this is where you're going to put your export location. So uncheck include in subfolder, and let's change the location to a specific folder. Choose. Let's go pictures, Mr. Sandoval's Lightroom. The same folder where I imported it, I'm going to do a new folder called exports. And that's so I know these are the raw files, and then the exports are my edited files. And then we'll keep the name the same. JPEG, whatever file you want to have it as, just export it as a JPEG. Bump that quality to 100%. Resolution, 72 for digital viewing, 300 if you want this to be printed. You can resize as you wish, but that 72 and 300 is very important. And metadata, keep that metadata information, and click export. Exporting 2 files. Let's go over here. And now we have our edited pictures. Right on, guys. We have just now used Lightroom for the very first time.